that all the time. I know you do, but your beauty's deeper than the makeup, and I wanna show you what I see tonight when I wrap you up and I kiss your lips. I wanna make you feel wanted, and I wanna call you mine, wanna hold your hand forever, never let you forget it. 'Cause baby, I wanna make you feel wanted, as good as you make me feel. I wanna make you feel better than your fairy tales, better than your best dreams. You're more than everything I need, all I ever wanted, and all I ever wanted. I just wanna wrap you up, wanna kiss your lips. I wanna make you feel wanted, and I wanna call you mine, wanna hold your hand forever and never let you forget it. Yeah, I wanna make you feel wanted, baby. I wanna make you feel wanted. You'll always be wanted.
All right. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining this afternoon. We're really excited. And I am going to pass it over to Dave Russell from Warm 103.3.
Thanks a lot, Shannon, and welcome to the first virtual Central PA Market March for Babies. As Shannon mentioned, I'm Dave Russell from Warm 103.3, and I couldn't be more excited to be with you to host this amazing event. We are all here for an incredibly important reason: to help March of Dimes lead the fight for the health of all moms and babies. March of Dimes believes in a world where every mom and baby is healthy, regardless of wealth, race, or geography. For over 80 years, March of Dimes has pioneered research, led programs, provided educational resources, and enabled policy change so that every mom and baby can have the best possible start, and we've been marching on their behalf for 50 years. Continuing this vital mission depends on the support of thousands across the country and people like you in Central PA that walk hundreds of miles each year at March for Babies events fundraising. You, our local supporters, know that March of Dimes' mission to help moms and babies at their greatest time of need is more important now than ever. And you are stepping up to help, and for that we say thank you. The onset of COVID-19 and the effect it's having on families around the world is truly devastating. With our medical system being tested as never before, it is imperative that we step up the fight for healthy moms and strong babies. And we can't stop today. We must continue throughout the year. During the COVID-19 pandemic and beyond, moms and babies can't wait. Delivery can't wait. By joining March for Babies Step Up, you are helping moms and babies across the country during a time when it's needed most. Thanks to you, the March of Dimes is adding new programs and resources to help families during this crisis and beyond. We ask you, our local supporters, to imagine and put yourself in the position of that laboring mother or new mom concerned for her baby in the NICU. And we're asking you to continue to help by creating awareness of the March of Dimes mission and asking those that can give to give. This is why March for Babies is proceeding today, but in a new way. Now we'd like to share a local video from one of our amazing families. video. Wow. That was a beautiful video. Please continue to share your videos and pictures on Facebook and other social media and with your local staff partner. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Janet Pickle, a former ambassador mom and longtime team captain, to say a few words.
Here, look, there's us. Hi, thank you, Dave. I am here with my ex-preemie, Cade. Let's say hi.
Hi.
Almost 9 years ago, 8.5 years ago, I was pregnant with twins when I went into premature labor after many weeks on bed rest. And Cade, well, first his twin sister, Jana, and then 30 seconds later, Cade was born. Jana weighed just under a pound. She was 15 ounces. Cade was a little more than that. He was 1 pound, 5 ounces. Our daughter had some other issues in addition to her small size, and she lived 2 days. Cade spent 122 days in the NICU. He had his first surgery when he was 2 weeks old, and he's had about a dozen in total. But thanks to surfactant therapy and other, medical advances and the care and the treatments he's had since he was wee little tiny, now he is in, do you want to tell him? What grade are you in?
Second.
Second grade. And how many A's were on your report card last time? All of them. So we, even though we can't march this year, we are happy to continue to support the March of Dimes in the hopes that someday no parents have to lose babies like we did. That, siblings can grow up together and families can be whole, even in tough times like this. So in case you didn't know, one baby is lost every 2 hours. This touches more people than you think. And one mother is lost every 12 hours due to pregnancy complications. That means, and then 22,000 babies in the U.S. die before their first birthday. So on behalf of my family who's experienced a loss and all the other families who've experienced a loss, I ask all of us to pause for a moment of silence, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Janet. My condolences go out to all of those who experienced a loss. Now I would like to introduce the 2020 Lancaster March for Babies Chair, Michelle Shorey of Penn Medicine Lancaster General Health.
Michelle, you're on mute. We can't hear you.
All right.
There we go.
All right. That'll be better. I was trying to be polite. So I'm seriously very happy to be the chairman this year for the Lancaster County March of Dimes Walk for Babies, Step Up for Babies. I know it's been a challenging year, but I believe it's still important to support the March of Dimes and to visit with all the families, the many teams and families who have been fundraising. We understand it's challenging this year, but I think it's still important to sort of join in fellowship on this day, and to just want to thank you for staying engaged this year during this public health emergency. My personal connection to March Dimes is 20 years long. Professionally, I've worked as a healthcare worker and leader in women's and children's health for over 20 years. And all of those years I've been involved in the March Dimes walks. And my husband and I have also experienced the loss of a baby due to a pregnancy complication. So we understand the experience, I think. And so in my work, obviously that helps me have a little bit more insight, I think, into how important it is to partner with an organization like the March Dimes, who supports research to understand why things happen, create drugs and treatments, and better care for babies while they're in the NICU, as well as better outcomes so that our babies have a better quality of life. And obviously, the other thing I find that the March of Dimes has been very helpful with as a professional is really bringing some best practices to how to support families whose child is in the NICU or has gone home from the NICU. So those are all, I think, extremely strong reasons for continuing to support the March of Dimes and continuing to be actively involved. At Palmetto Health, at Penn Medicine, Lancaster General Health, we have a women and babies hospital, so we're obviously very focused on just care for women and children there. But we've partnered with March Dimes in the past on programs like the Centering Pregnancy program, which really has had outcomes to reduce prematurity. And it's also created sort of a support network for the moms that decided to get their prenatal care and prenatal education in that model, with it all packaged together, if you will. And we are very excited about that. And then I think I've talked about the best practices of just helping our team understand how to support families when their child is in the NICU. And then I would say finally, as a healthcare leader, I really appreciate the work that was done on the March of Dimes website this year to address questions around COVID-19. I think that having a place that moms in our communities could go to, whether they're expectant moms or they're new moms, had lots of questions. And I think being able to step forward, have that information on the website for both the parents as well as professionals with the information we had, and also advocating for when drugs and treatments are developed, that there is a focus on how safe they are for pregnant moms and new babies to receive. So I think March Dimes has been very busy this year, obviously, dealing with the new public health need, but as well has continued, I think, to support the research that was underway as well. So anyway, I really appreciate everyone being engaged this year. And now I would like to thank our local corporations who have generously sponsored one of the walks in central Pennsylvania for the March for Babies event. So our presenting and signature sponsors are Penn Medicine, Lancaster General Health, and Renewal by Anderson. Our platinum sponsors include UPMC Health System, as well as the health plan, and WellSpan Health System. Our bronze sponsors, APR Supply Company, Gateway Health, and Gladfelter Insurance. And then our other sponsors, American Legion Post 404, the American Legion Conewago Post 329, Denver Orioles Nest 54, Millersburg Moose Lodge 59, the Navy Club of Lebanon, the R Field and Stream Association, and Simon Lover. It's so nice to see so many organizations supporting our event. I appreciate every one of those companies that are listed. Thank you. Next, we have some pictures of past local March of Dimes walks and events that we would like to share. Maybe you'll see yourself in there. Nice to see so many teams and some of the Why I Walk signs. Look, there's John Bricker from Harrisburg, who is the leading individual walker in the state of Pennsylvania, and he's joining our call today. Those are great, great pictures, great memories. We'll be back out there walking another year. All right. Look at the sprint pictures. Look at the little guy sprinting. That brings new meaning to all of us with the amazing frontline workers that are our superheroes as well. Look at, let's see. It's great to be able to look at all these photos from previous walks and see some of our awesome volunteers and family teams. Great memories. So it's now my pleasure to thank and welcome the 2020 Lancaster March for Babies Ambassador family for us, the Siraj family.
Thanks so much. Hi guys, my name is Emily. And my husband wanted to be here, but he is still at work. And luckily, Anna Joy is still sleeping upstairs. So hopefully that will last through this video. But yeah, I just wanted to say it's been so fun to be the ambassador family this year. It's been such an honor. It's been really awesome to still be involved in a different way than what we were expecting to be involved, but it's been such an honor. So our story, before I had Anna Joy, I had had 2 miscarriages, and we actually needed fertility treatments to become pregnant. And the first 20 weeks of my pregnancy were really normal. And then at 24 weeks, I found out she hadn't grown since her 20-week anatomy scan. And at that time, I was diagnosed with in utero growth restriction, or IUGR. And I was also diagnosed with marginal cord insertion, which means that my umbilical cord and my placenta didn't meet up at the best spot. So all that to say is they told me she was going to be small. And I didn't realize how small she was going to be until we had her. At 25 weeks, I was diagnosed with preeclampsia, and my blood pressure could not be tamed with any amount of medication. And I went into the hospital, and they told me I was going to be there until I delivered. So you think at 25 weeks, that's potentially 15 weeks in a hospital. But she was born 5 days later. I was 26 weeks and 2 days pregnant. She weighed 1 pound, 6 ounces. And we were at Women's and Babies Hospital in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. That picture on the left there, she was 1 day old. That was the next day after she was born. And when we were in the NICU, that's not what I thought my first time being a mom would be like at all. I didn't have anybody in my support system that had gone through this that I could reach out to, but I remembered there was this thing called March of Dimes. And all I remembered about them was that they had something to do with premature babies. And I had one of those. So I went on their Facebook page at first, and I just found all the support. I found research. I found other moms that just got it because I didn't know anybody else that could get it. And I started posting about her and sharing my pictures, and I was just flooded with support. And before we left the NICU, I knew that we would be a part of March of Dimes, advocating, fundraising, participating in walks. And when she was 6 months old, she was at her first walk. And we've been doing Team Anna Joy ever since. And I really appreciate that March of Dimes focuses a lot on the parents too. You know, it's healthy moms and healthy babies, not just healthy babies. I really think that that's so important. My background's in mental health, so I know how important that is, to have that aspect, to have the moms and the dads make sure that they have services and what they need set up for after they leave the NICU. If Anna Joy were awake right now, she'd be running around destroying my house. She's 2.5 years old. She has been meeting all of her milestones. She graduated from early intervention after 8 months. And I can only think that that's because of the way she started in the NICU with all the care and support. Her team of nurses, doctors, and therapists were just incredible. And we just love supporting March of Dimes, and we will continue to do so. And hopefully next year we'll all be in person walking together. But yeah, that's our story, and we're just so thankful that we got to do this year. So thanks so much, everybody.
Oh, that's great. Well, thank you very much, Emily. We're so happy to have heard your story. Thank you for sharing that with us. Now I would like to introduce Monica Patel from the March of Dimes to say a few words.
Hey everyone, can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can. All right, okay. I'm so excited to be here today. Thank you, Michelle, and you know, really excited to celebrate March for Babies. I know it feels a little different this year. You know, I've been marching in March for Babies for 20 years, and this is definitely the most unique way for us to, you know, walk. However, really excited to be here with y'all and recognize some of our top fundraising teams. So I'm going to start with where we are on our fundraising team status. So the Bricker Braves is our top team right now. You can see on the screen. Of course, we talked about John a little earlier. So 32,103. Amazing job. Let's give them a round of applause. Woo. All right. Next up, we've got WellSpan Newborn ICU at York Hospital. We have Angels on Earth and in Heaven. We have We Walk, She Flies, Pickle Preemies, James Grant, Tyler's team, Team LAP, Nittany Lions, Zeta Phi Beta, Nu Sigma Zeta, and Kayla's crew. So congratulations. You still have time to join this outstanding group of top fundraising teams. So please continue your fundraising efforts to join them. So this is just the current standings. We're going to move on to our current top individual fundraisers. So of course, John Bricker is at the top, #1 walker right now at $32,146. Amazing, amazing job, John. Alyssa Jordan is up next, Janet Pickle, Catherine McNamara, #4, #5, Shannon Lapp, #6, Angela Norbury, #7, Shannon McGill, #8, Carissa Sharp, #9, Jess Toner, and #10, Kayla Cullison. So again, congratulations to our top fundraisers as of right now. We're going to move on to our Circle of Champions. So Circle of Champions are individuals who have personally raised $1,000 or more. And I'm excited to announce this amazing group of individuals: John Bricker, Kayla Cullison, Alyssa Jordan, Shannon Lapp, Shannon McGill, Catherine McNamara, Angela Norbury, Janet Pickle, Amanda Rombeck, Emily Sarhaj, and of course Team Anna Joy, Carissa Sharp, and Jess Toner. So congratulations. As I previously mentioned, you still have time to join these special groups of teams and individuals to earn incentives. And you can see on the screen, these are some of the incentives that you can earn. I don't know if you can flip to the next slide, Heidi. Well, okay, here we go. So to qualify for these incentive donations need to be turned in by August 15th. So August 15th is our target deadline for all of you to raise all your funds, and then deadline to redeem is September 15th. It is now my pleasure to thank and welcome the 2020 Capital March for Babies Ambassador family, the Hughes family.
Hello, everyone. You say hi. Hello. Hi, say hi. Hi. It's a pleasure to be here in support of the March of Dimes, and thank you for allowing us to share our journey with you. When I was pregnant with Taylor, the doctors noticed that Taylor wasn't growing the way that she should have been. In order for her to survive, she needed to be at least 500 grams so that they could get a breathing tube when she was born. I went to my doctor a few months later for a routine appointment, and I got admitted that day. They told me that my blood pressure had skyrocketed and that I needed to be in the hospital until Taylor was born. 6 days after I was admitted, Taylor was born at 27 weeks old on November 17th, 2014. She weighed 455 grams or 1 pound, but they were still able to get a breathing tube in her. Taylor was on nitric oxide, a ventilator, high amounts of oxygen. Her heart was enlarged, her lungs were underdeveloped, and she suffered a brain bleed. So I was asked if I wanted to stop care with Taylor, which I refused because I believed that she was here for a reason. Taylor was also given the surfactant therapy, which I know the March of Dimes funds. So we were very grateful for that. Things were slowly starting to progress to the point where we were starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. The doctors had decided that they wanted to hold a meeting to discuss Taylor's possible discharge in May. But in the last week of April of 2015, Taylor started to show some signs of respiratory distress. So we met with the doctors and they told us that things were quickly going downhill. Taylor was very sick and she needed to be transferred from UPMC Pinnacle to Children's Hospital of Philadelphia as soon as possible. That first weekend at CHOP was very, Taylor would clamp down. She couldn't get air in. I lost count how many times the code bell was pushed in her room that weekend. The doctors, they measure heart failure in terms of numbers. So if it's under 100, that means that there's no heart failure present. Well, Taylor's number, unfortunately, was 8,700. I was told by the doctors that it would take a miracle for her to survive. One of the doctors had told me about a drug that they wanted to try with Taylor. He told me there were no guarantees, and if the drug didn't work, that unfortunately Taylor was in fact dying. I remember one evening when a doctor just came running down the hall and she was like, "Mom, you need to come now, you need to come now." And I thought that was it. I was gonna have to say goodbye to my baby. So I went back to her room and I stood there and I watched the sats on her monitor just drop, drop, drop. And then all of a sudden her sats started to pick back up very slowly. The doctors were in shock that the drug had worked that fast, but I told them that it was the hand of God. So after 437 days of being in the hospital, Taylor was finally discharged to come home at 14 months of age. Little by little, she started doing things. Speech therapy taught her sign language, and Taylor taught herself how to plug her trach so she can vocalize because she had been trached at 8 months old. So looking at Taylor today at 5 years old, the one thought that always comes to my mind is God is still in the business of making miracles because Taylor is a miracle child. She is a fighter, and it's something that I see in her every single day. So I just want to thank you again for allowing us to share our journey with you. And thank you, March of Dimes, for all that you do.
Thank you, Tammy, for sharing. Bye-bye. Thank you, Tammy, for sharing your story with us. We have one last video we would like to show you. Thank you all again for your efforts. And if you have questions, please reach out to one of the staff partners listed on the slide. Okay. Now it's time to step up and celebrate by joining us at 2 p.m. for our national celebration on either Facebook or YouTube. Have a wonderful day, and thank you all. Check back. All right.
Thanks everyone for joining us. See you all at 2 o'clock.
Thanks, guys.